Greetings, fellow Taoseños, transplants, and passers through. This is reporter Cody Hooks with the Taos News, and here's a quick look at what we're working on for this week's edition of the paper on Stands Everywhere Thursday. First off in the news, well over 100 people showed up at the Taos County Commission chambers Tuesday morning to show their support for the county becoming a sanctuary for immigrants. Now, as I'm sure you've heard, the president's executive order seeking to punish local governments for policies that protect immigrants sparked both lawsuits and protests. Locally, folks criticized what they see as a wave of fascism and racism on the part of the federal government and called on local leaders to take a stand on behalf of all Taos County residents, citizens, and recent immigrants alike, regardless of threats to federal funding. The town of Taos is already a sanctuary city, but will Taos County follow suit? Also in the news, 21-year-old Destiny Valdez was shot in the head last Friday night at a gas station on the bypass in Taos. A 23-year-old suspect shooter is in custody, while Valdez was taken to the UNM hospital in Albuquerque. This is a developing story, so get the latest on our website, taosnews.com. And briefly, Taos is getting a bowling alley. Construction on the 12-lane place called Gutters, with a restaurant and arcade, is expected to start up in March and be finished by fall. Location is right over by the Youth and Family Center, so go ahead and get excited. And speaking of in sports, here's what went down this week. The Patriots pulled off the impossible and won yet another Super Bowl following Lady Gaga's amazing halftime performance. And locally, we had some losses on the basketball court, but the hockey rink was all for Taos. The Taos Tigers crushed the Los Alamos Hilltoppers, which Arsenio says is our closest friend, but our fiercest rival. Hats off to the hockey team for sure. We've also got a close-up look at what it takes to grow New Mexico's medical marijuana. Pot has a long history of use as a medicinal herb in New Mexico, but was legalized by the state in 2007. The Taos News took a road trip down to Santa Fe to visit with New Mexican Natural Medicine, a grower and seller of medical cannabis with 4 storefront locations from the capital city to Taos's Martinez Plaza. But what does it take to get weed from seed to the shelf? Read about that on Thursday. Then in tempo, its 1 Billion Rising began 4 years ago as a worldwide flash mob dance protest against sexual violence, but has also emerged as a collective act of defiance, using art as a powerful political tool for resistance. There are some practices beforehand if you want to learn the dance, and everyone is encouraged to wear pink or red. This year's gathering is set for Valentine's Day, February 14th, so grab a tempo and be sure to get all the details. And in the weather, it's feeling a little bit more like spring every day, no? Warm and cold, then you got the winds. The National Weather Service is predicting temperatures this week not too much different from last week. Lows in the 30s, highs in the 50s or thereabouts. And as for the upcoming astrology, we've got a lunar eclipse in Leo on Friday. Eclipses signal the end of things and the beginning of others, so take a little time this weekend to think on the last 6 months and what you've been able to accomplish and learn. And make sure to take the opportunity to think about where you want to be by the next eclipse. And that'll do it for this week's paper. Bueno, bye.